Welcome back. You're watching Morning Live. Thank you so much for staying with the show. The last, I think, 12 months, there has been one word that has been on the lips of so many people around dinner tables, around the water cooler at the office, and that is climate, whether it be here in South Africa or around the world. In climate terms, South Africa is already living on the edge. Much of it is dry and the whole country is subject to droughts and floods. Even small variations in rainfall or temperatures would intensify an already stressed environment. On what we can expect in terms of climate changes this year, we chat to our meteorologist, Azwi Tuwani. So Azwi, explain to us what is the impact that South Africa is feeling when it comes to climate change? Because I think there's no more denying that climate change and its effects are actually presenting themselves.
Yeah. Because the other thing that happened is that we, as scientists, we thought, well, it was going to take time for it to happen. This is why we had a whole lot of skepticism towards it. But currently, we have seen that it has been accelerated, and it is currently happening. We have seen lots and lots of effects. Mostly, we have seen fires. Like we're currently seeing in Australia. We have seen some in the Amazons as well. We have seen lots in Europe as well. But coming to South Africa, we have seen severe droughts and severe lack of water. Our dams continuously go dry. And this we're not supposed to face each and every year. It's supposed to happen after some time and certain times. But now each and every year we have issues of water and our dams running dry, meaning that we do not have enough capacity of storage and then for the use. Because what we are getting, we are using it out completely. And that's a serious problem for the whole country. And if you look at South Africa, it is like one of the most developed countries in SADC. Now look at other countries in the northern parts. We have seen Kenya struggling with the issues of water as well. Now this stems a serious problem for SADC and mostly Africa.
Do you think that people are paying enough attention to just how important this issue actually is?
People are starting to pay attention, because when you run out of water and when your water gets cut off and electricity runs dry with things like that, then you really start to think what's really going on. And when you hear that it is climate change, then you start to get serious. But now most of the people still don't know what to do. And the government, sometimes it looks like they're not too sure of which what to implement and what to do. But the easiest thing that we can start doing right now is for the people to adhere to the climate change restrictions. Like, do not drive this kind of cars, do not drive very old cars, just start to use like electric cars and be mindful of how you use your electricity. First of all, it gets very expensive. And another thing, so if you are overusing electricity, that means you are contributing more to climate change.
What are some of the other tips that you can give people, those standards that would help not only here in South Africa, but anybody around the world that's hoping to tackle climate change?
Well, the main issue is electricity, because by burning fossil fuels to produce electricity like we do here, still relying on coal for our electricity, that's one of the main things that contribute to climate change. And again, driving our cars, we mustn't just drive your car unnecessarily. Again, it's going to cost you more with your petrol. But if you can only drive where you're supposed to and use public transport, and again, you can use your bicycle if your office is very close, that again will contribute to your health.
What about recycling?
Recycling is one of the major things that we should continuously do, because if you look at pollution, it also contributes to climate change. And then you see a whole lot of plastic and they end up being burnt and all those things. So if we recycle it and not burn it, then we are fighting climate change.
Which areas in South Africa are most affected?
Well, I would say the whole of South Africa, but mostly affected are the western parts. The western parts. If you look at northwest, they really are struggling with a severe drought as well. Going to the interior Free State, going to the Northern Cape as well. There are serious issues in those areas. But going to the eastern parts, yes, we're still getting some rains, but there is a struggle again, because if you look at Limpopo and again KwaZulu-Natal, well, this season they are very wet. The Eastern Cape, they're also struggling with issues of water. Their dams are running very dry, and it in an area where there are cold fronts that continuously come. But again, we see the Eastern Cape having the driest dam ever that we have ever seen in South Africa.
As I think back just a month ago and those rains that we had here in Gauteng, and there was flash floods around the province, and some crazy scenes from Centurion where people were being airlifted with a hotel that was like the first floor completely underwater. How is this possible? Because I think for many people, they see that there is rain in certain areas, huge thunderstorms, but we keep on hearing the message that we're dry and we need to look after water.
That's the issue that we have as South Africa, capacity of storage, and again pollution, because we pollute a lot and we end up blocking our drainage system. So all that water that's supposed to go and be channeled into our dams like this one, they end up just sitting on our roads and they flood our cities again and then push our cars and things like that and destroy our infrastructure. But if again we could have a bigger drainage system and huge storage system like dams that would last for 5 years without needing lots and lots of rainfall, because we are going to get rains, but we're going to get lots and lots of rainfall in a very short period of time. Now with our current drainage system, we are not going to capture anything. So come the following year, we're still going to struggle with the issues of water because we only capture a little and most of it goes back to the ocean. Like what really happened in KwaZulu-Natal. If we had a way to capture all that water that came with the rain and then we were able to channel it somewhere or store it in a very big dam, then we would be talking about issues of water, because that small area that gets lots of rainfall and we capture it, then we'll be able to distribute it to some other parts of South Africa and other dams as well.
There's no doubt that we've got very clever people in South Africa, and somebody has come up with that kind of solution. Let's hope that the people who are in charge that can help make that happen and help implement those kinds of strategies are actually heard. As we thank you very much for chatting to us. So some of the main tips is look after water as well as conserve electricity and don't drive around in your cars as much. Thank you very much, Azwi. So South Africa is already experiencing significant effects of climate change, particularly as a result of increased temperatures. We're just chatting to meteorologist Azwi Tuwani a little bit more on that.